Samsung One UI 5 based on Android 13 is going to be the most important update we have in the Android world this year. It goes without saying that for a lot of consumers in Western markets, Samsung is the preeminent manufacturer of Android devices. In fact, when people refer to the Android, more often than not, they're referring to a Samsung Galaxy device, and this is especially true in the American market. Now, they haven't adopted Google's new Material You theme. In fact, the quick settings panel on Samsung devices still looks like the classic Android quick settings and control panel. The notifications still look like that as well. Now, we have some leaks that Samsung is going to be doing something different with their lock screen in a way that kind of competes with Apple. But we see this fragmentation across Samsung and the Google ecosystem, and it's something that is a little bit worrying because if we look at Samsung's ecosystem, they have some very specific Samsung-only features. Their Samsung headphones have their own codec to connect with Android devices that apparently rivals LDAC. Samsung has their smart tags, which only work with Samsung devices. Samsung also has a whole series of features with their quick share, which rivals Android's built-in nearby share. They have quick switching so that you can switch your headphones from your cell phone to your watch to your computer. All of the Samsung computers have the Windows computer phone interface program built in, but yet on Samsung cell phones, we have the full Microsoft suite that's built in, and we have a lot of Microsoft exclusive collaborative features on Samsung devices. Yet at the same time, Samsung is deeply connected with Google. Samsung makes the Tensor chipsets, Samsung makes a lot of the other componentry and a lot of the other parts that Google uses for their cell phones. And this year, Samsung got the exclusive rights to use the new version of Wear OS on their wearables first, and Google just launched their first smartwatch to tie things together into the Google ecosystem. Needless to say, right now is a really dynamic and interesting time if you're in the Android ecosystem, because it seems like there are some clear conflicts of interest between Google and Samsung, because Google is deeply in bed with Samsung. Samsung currently has some exclusive partnerships with Microsoft, and at the same time, Google is reliant on Samsung for the chips of their devices that they're making to directly compete with Samsung devices. And that's before I even talk about how Google is choosing to use Samsung sensors in their full line of Pixel devices. In fact, the Pixel 6a is the last device that has a Sony camera sensor on it, because now they've all moved to Samsung sensors. I want to know what you guys think of this. Do you think it's something to be concerned about, seeing such a conflict of interest and seeing Google be in business with Samsung, and then Google at the same time competing with Samsung and giving Samsung special treatment compared to other Android OEMs? Do you think that in the future we're going to see more of a shift from Samsung to the Material You design aesthetic and that kind of rounded, more flat aesthetic that we see from Google right now? Or are we going to continue to live in this weirdly fragmented world where Google is competing with Samsung, who's also competing in many ways with Microsoft, and they're all trying to do business and not step on each other's toes? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, because I think it's an interesting conversation that we need to be having. Peace.